Good morning, Nicole and Greg. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present my ideas for your upcoming move. Although it can be challenging to downsize, there are many ways to maximize space and accommodate the personal belongings that are important to you. As you are aware, I like to get to know my clients before designing a space for them. Thank you for meeting with me last week. I enjoyed seeing the collection of photographs you have taken on your travels and your atlas collection. It was lovely to tour your backyard and see the many different species of plants you have been able to grow. Leaving a 3,000 square foot traditional home and moving into a 1,600 square foot contemporary space, we will need to consider the following. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the theme, and the theme is going to be a concept or an idea that creates a balance, that creates a flow in every room of your new home. The second thing we're going to discuss is how to maximize the space. Because it's a much smaller space than you're used to, we want to use little tips and tricks to be able to manipulate the space to make it look a little bigger than it actually is. And everything in there, we want it to be functional. And the third thing that we're going to talk about is transitional design. And now that's the type of design that is going to help us incorporate your current furnishings into your new home. I have several specific ideas to help make the transition, remembering that Nicole wants a minimal, clean space and that Greg insists on keeping his reading chair. The first thing I would like to talk about is the theme of your new home. After my visit with you, I was amazed at how much of Earth you have explored and documented and your interest in nature. I would like to recognize this in the design of your new home. In relation to the theme, it is important to use colors that help define nature. I suggest using browns, greens, yellows, taupes, and whites. When dealing with the earth and the vegetation in nature, they tend to have a more warm gray undertone. Now this is an example of just the color green, and this image shows you the cool greens, the cool gray undertones of green versus the warm gray undertone of green. The cool, though very beautiful, they aren't a natural looking color, and the coolness sort of leaves the eye, whereas the warm greens tend to draw the eye in and look a little more inviting. Staying with the theme, I suggest printing out some of your favorite photographs that depict nature in different parts of the world. I suggest brainstorming possible sizes and frames. Your atlas collection and the wonderful antique globe will feel right at home in this space. The relatively large deck off the living room will accommodate some plants in pots. I was wondering if there are some plants, Nicole, that could be transplanted from your backyard and thrive in a pot. Additionally, I encourage you to use your green thumb on indoor plants. Another idea I was thinking of was using a famous interior designer's tips when using plants. Kelly Hoppen recommends that inside plants should be low maintenance, like cacti and orchids. She recommends that the greenery displays should be kept simple with white containers. She also recommends incorporating repetition into the displays for a brilliant dramatic effect. So this is just one of her designs, and it just shows a series of orchids, and it just gives kind of a cool look. The new home is designed with an open concept, and the space will flow smoothly from one area to another. This can be accomplished by incorporating the nature theme into each space. Next, I want to address different techniques we can use to maximize space. Keeping with the nature theme, colors that maximize space tend to be whites. Secondly, I want to address different techniques we could use to maximize space. Custom cabinetry allows us to use space that we wouldn't normally use. I recommend a white built-in wall height series of shelves and drawers in the dining room. The shelves will be able to display photos, your travel journals, photo albums, books, and perhaps some indoor plants, while the drawers will provide storage. Reflective materials like glass help to maximize space. I recommend a glass dining room table like this one shown right here. In order to fit 6 people around the table, 4 chairs need to be modern and minimal. I suggest the Churner side chair right here. The warm, natural brown will provide an accent to the almost entirely white environment. I would also like to build a glass coffee table for the living room using the outdated atlases you have collected over the years. So this is just an example of that. Just a base made of entirely of books and just putting a thin sheet of glass over top. To maximize space, you also use multi-purpose furniture. I suggest a sleeper sofa in the den, as this would provide you with extra sleeping space if needed. In addition to the sofa, I suggest an ottoman that could be used as a coffee table and to store books and linens. This is the Nexus Storage Cube, and not only is it for storage, it can be used as an ottoman, it can be used as a stool, or it could be used as a coffee table. The final thing that I want to discuss is transitional design. Transitional design allows us to utilize your traditional furnishings in your home's modern environment. I have managed to narrow down some of your older furnishings that will work well in the new home. I believe Greg's chair and ottoman can look great in the new living area if reupholstered in a fabric that supports the theme. In fact, it could act as a focal point in the predominantly white space if you use greens or a combination. The ottoman and chair do not have to be the same fabric. Although Greg's chair is traditional, it will work if we make it a focal point. I would also like to reupholster 2 of your dining chairs with white leather, which will make them minimal and will also go nicely with the other dining room chairs. I suggest using the antique writing desk in the study and pairing it with a modern chair. I recommend a chair with a reflective surface to help maximize the space. And this is just an example of that. The really nice see-through Louis ghost chair paired nicely with an antique writing desk. This is a room where I suggest the globe be displayed as well. In the small entrance area of your new home, I suggest using Nicole's great-grandmother's chair. It would work as a focal point, and the beautiful brown supports the theme. It also could serve a purpose as a surface to take shoes on and off or to throw bags or jackets on top of. Your current teak furnishings will work perfectly in the master bedroom. In summary, Nicole and Greg, I want this space to be a special, well-fitting home for you both. I hope I have outlined some possibilities that appeal to you and that I have relieved some of the concerns you may have in regards to the move. I feel confident that we have a great start on this. I think the next step is researching the furnishings needed to purchase, looking at reupholstering options for Greg's chair, and narrowing down photographs to display in frames for the walls and shelves for your new lovely home. Thank you very much.